The first button is for lifting it up. That button is for bringing it down. The black button lets out the locking mechanism. You have to let out the locking mechanism before you start letting it down, otherwise it won't go down. These arms are what you use to lift up the cars. They slide in and out. They slide underneath the cars. You can also adjust the pads by twisting them, like so. If one would ever lift the camera up, you could see that I'm pointing at a wire up near the top. That wire is the safety wire. Whenever you lift a car too high, the wire pops out, causing the lift to stop. It's used to stop you from crushing a car. That's where it plugs into the power box. Whenever you're bringing a car into the shop to put it on the lift, you gotta guide it in. Make sure that it's centered so that it doesn't run into the lift or anything else. Don't let them run into the walls either. Just don't let them run into crap.
There she stood in the doorway, heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven and this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and she showed.
Whenever you go to lift the car, you have to slide the arms underneath and position the pad so that it will lift them without damaging the car. Cars typically have places on them to lift by. Usually. Sometimes. This is apparently the right places to put the arms, I think. Or pads, rather. So that's where you should lift by. Whenever the arms are positioned correctly, you can start to lift. Do it by pressing that button. Watch the car as it goes up and make sure it's centered correctly. If the front starts tipping forward, then obviously you've done it wrong. Do it again. Once it's up in the air, give it a good shake. Make sure it's sturdy. That's kind of sturdy, maybe, possibly. So, that should be good. Once you're sure that it is, go ahead and keep lifting it again. I should mention that the arms that the car is sitting on, they lock into place whenever you let it out. I just let out the air and now it's sitting on the locking mechanism. That's what you should always do whenever you're working on the car. Leave it on the locking mechanism. You always want to put it, or rather this is the difference between a unibody and a solid frame. Solid frames have that frame. That frame is what you should lift by. The frame is solid, hence solid frame. Sometimes whenever it's up in the air and you want to let it down, the locking mechanism will be engaged. To disengage it, you may have to lift it up just a little bit more, and then press the button to release it, and then let out the air. Before you let down the car, make sure there's nothing underneath the car, otherwise you'll smash it. And that's not always good. Even after the car is on its own suspension, continue letting out air until the arms go all the way to the ground. The arms lock in place whenever they're up in the air using that little bit there that I just hit with my toe. Basically, those arms won't move until they are on the ground, and they are really, really locked in place. After it's on the ground completely, slide the arms out from underneath it. You may have to slide the arms in. Probably a good idea too, so that no one trips on them. Make sure you do it on both sides of the car. You get all the arms out. You should always guide someone out whenever they're going off the lift. If you don't, they may run into stuff. Also pay attention to whenever you're going off the lift so you don't run over stuff. Now I'm showing you how to lift a unibody. Basically you want to place the pads on a unibody right around there. They'll have like certain places, one's really bad with the camera. They'll have certain places to put the pads to lift it correctly. If you don't, you'll bend the car. Unibodies don't have a solid frame on them, so they bend easily and can generally get screwed up. So don't get them screwed up.